All right, everyone. Welcome to the show uh, here in the frozen South. Good morning. Yes. So the North, could you please come get your crazy weather? The
Listen,
South, the South
we
is
were
not
kind
built.
we were kind enough to share. And we're not taking it back. You guys actually have it a little. Well, we got about the same amount of snow this
So it is currently 3 degrees this morning in the South. So this sucks. So before you haters come and all you, I've seen it on my other video where I made fun of people at Walmart. Um, oh, you in the South are such wimps. I could care less about the cold weather. It's all I could do to walk from the house to the building because so it started the other night where we had 3 to 4 hours of sleep because there was a warm layer above, so it was a warm layer sandwiched between the cold, so it would so we got sleep, and then it snowed for I don't know 7 8 hours, and then to top it all off it goes, well, let's sleep some more, and so and then it went down to I don't know 10 last night, night before last. So not only did we get the ice sandwich, I mean, then they froze hard. So it started thawing a little bit yesterday, but the problem is the high yesterday was only like 22, and it went down to right at zero last night. And so walking across the backyard, it looks like snow, but it's an ice skating rink. We don't get snow, and that's the problem. Is most of the South, even if it is snow for the first few hours, it quickly becomes mess. And then, of course, we don't have. They might throw sand at it. That's a joke. Very little salt machines. Uh, the roads are solid white. There's no such thing as a plow up here. Any of that stuff down here.
week. The worst is when you live in an area that doesn't have the infrastructure to take care of it. Here we have the infrastructure. My
Then you
road,
go.
my road was covered in snow, and an hour later it was all melted because we had salt.
Nobody knows how to drive in it. So um, Tracy claims he can't get out of his driveway. That's what happens when you live in Mississippi and you get snow. You're from Mississippi, Tracy. You just can't figure out ice.
The worst event I ever experienced winter weather wise was when I went to college in Springfield, Missouri. They don't get snow there either. They get ice, and boy, is that nasty.
Hey, Ron.
You can't do anything. You can't even walk down a sidewalk. I couldn't walk from one end of the campus to the other.
Yeah, so it's
So I have a electric tape wrap around my. I've got an exposed pipe that goes into my house, the water supply, and I had unplugged it a couple of weeks ago to do some. I've got an electric chainsaw. I was trimming trees, and I forgot to plug the sucker back in. So yesterday morning I turn on. I go to flush the toilet and it flushes the one time because there's water in the tank and then it doesn't fill and I go, oh crap. So I didn't get coffee
Oh,
or my shower until like
coffee
11
support.
o'clock. I got that tape wrap back on, and
so here it is right here.
so
That's Tracy. That's 100% true. Says he's spending years in Alaska. He can drive in the snow. This this ain't. And so I drove to the auction Monday. It started Sunday night. So I woke up and it was. I took a picture when I got to the auction. So I had the truck and the trailer. So it's a 4-wheel drive, but 4-wheel drive does nothing in ice, right? So I drove up there in full time 4-wheel drive with tow mode on, so that the engine, because the problem with ice is stopping. Uh, that's what it looked like Monday morning at when I got to the auction at 7 a.m.
jeez.
You can
The
see where I'm
good
at.
thing, the good thing for you guys is next week you'll forget it even existed and it'll be nice again.
Yeah, it'll be this time next week. It'll be in the 50s. It'll be gone, and that'll be it. But
For us, we got another couple of months.
it's the problem is when did the wussification of society has gotten down to all levels. I mean, there was a time the U.S. Post Office took pride in the whatever the slogan was about. What's the old slogan about? Never close it, never miss a day, never. Man, somebody farts downhill from a post office, they close.
I was looking at the school closures here. We live in the north. The roads are clear this morning, but because the temperatures are so cold. Now, I understand the town that I live in. If you live within a mile of the school, you have to walk. They don't bus you. And I get it because they don't want kids walking out in the snow. But the town I grew up in, the entire time I went to school, they never once closed school for weather. Ever did they close school, because except the day that the tornado hit the school. But other than that,
I see the memes and they're funny, but there's a lot of truth in it. You know, back in my day, we did tornado drills. If it was they're expecting bad weather, they put us all out in the hall and put your head between your knees, all the rest of that mess. Now today, there's going to be a wind event. You know, there could be some wind blowing a couple states over. We're going to go ahead and close school today.
we just I looked this morning and my old school is closed, and it's not a snow event, it's a cold event, and we never close. It could be 20 below zero and we still have to go to school.
Yeah,
but
and they
nowadays,
too cold. Hell, for God's sakes, we didn't even have air conditioning a couple of years in one of my schools.
I think we did, but it wasn't too bad.
My middle school
my middle school probably didn't have air conditioning. We had old radiator heating.
Yeah, my middle school was built in the 20s and 30s. It didn't have air conditioning, and it had radiator heat. You could hear the things cracking and carrying on.
You touch it and you burn your freaking hand.
Can you imagine the laws now?
They're still using that same building, but they totally refurbished it a couple of years after I got out of school.
All right, so that's enough of the weather. I actually have all my shipping that I did yesterday sitting over here because I actually got to the post office to read the sign on the door saying, "Sorry, we're closed for weather." I'm like, really?
So they were closed Monday for Martin Luther King. They're closed Tuesday to weather. Are they going to be open today?
Chastity said her school's closed because it rained last week. The moistification of America. Yeah, they're very.
No, I'm okay with them closing down a school when kids have to walk a mile to school in that kind of weather. That is a little dangerous for kids to be out in that stuff. But they close schools for a lot of reasons nowadays. Now, this week we've had high winds that have knocked power out everywhere. So I get that too. You gotta have power to go to school.
No, Brenda, I get it. Brenda said it's -8 in Manchester area. Isn't worth the risk. The problem is society has survived for thousands of years dealing with that. You know, you make weaker and weaker people that can't adjust to anything because we try to take all the. Sometimes we need to bring Darwin back. You know, never ever should there be a label on a hairdryer that says "Don't use this in the shower." There should never be a hairdryer that you should think, you know what? While I'm washing my hair, I'm gonna get a head start and I'm gonna style my hair with a hairdryer in the shower. You know, the person who has that thought probably needs to deal with that thought.
Oh, they'll deal with it as soon as they try it.
It's
Yeah. Do not eat on the desiccant package in products.
For mice.
It just.
I mean, for God's sakes, what was a big thing? Laundry detergent packs. Kids eating laundry detergent packs, for God's sakes. Close the door. I mean, where's responsibility? You know, there's no parent's responsibility. It's Ty's fault for making the packs. And no, it's your own damn fault, you dummies.
Junk Trader says we have articles about kids getting bullied over Stanley cups. Well, they still bullied kids in school in my day too. We got bullied over the shoes we wore, the whatever, you know, that kind of thing. Same difference. But now we're a little more fancy, you know, Stanley cups and stuff. When did Stanley cups become fancy? That's what I want to know. I mean, they're a good cup. Don't get me wrong.
So that's a great thing that's transitioning into reselling is the rebirth of a brand, because Stanley had been very dormant. You know, Stanley still sold. You know, you find a Stanley thermos, it's worth decent. You know, if you pick it up for a couple of dollars, it's worth flipping. And I sell a bunch of them at the auction. But the revival of the Stanley name through just cups has just been crazy amazing to a different generation who acts like Stanley is brand new.
No, they've always made a good quality product. I love Stanley thermoses. They keep your
100%.
coffee warm for days. But
So they definitely built on their reputation, and they, smart people, the marketing on that to where they've got people outside in lines of Target for hours to buy anybody in the chat get in line and go buy one of them things.
no, because first of all, I ain't fighting with nobody. Second of all, I was working, but there's no way to.
I mean, because just think about this: you've taken a product that has a great name, but now you've got all the. I think there's more women than there's men because Joni's got 2 of them damn things, not the pink ones, but she's got 2 Stanley cups. To walk around with them big ass cups with handles on them, who wants to carry? I mean, it's put a regular handle on that, and that's your drink for the morning.
I got a handle.
That thermos you got right there, that is the best made thing ever. I have one too. I don't
And
use
I got a cup.
Much, but it was, that thing keeps your coffee hot all day long.
I got to get
Probably
a
into the
stopper.
next day.
James, don't try that. You're always the counterpoint to whatever anybody on the show says. Stanley's been dormant. Give me a break, Stanley.
It's been a brand. I mean, it's
a
been
brand, and it's a high quality brand, and you find it at Walmart, and a lot of times you find it on clearance. The last few things I picked up for Stanley to resell have been on clearance at Walmart.
Yeah, same here.
They've been around, but the popularity that they're enjoying now, people act like they're brand new. I mean,
before there was a lot of popularity with Stanley.
Oh yeah, that's what
it's
I
always
remember.
been with the working class.
So Brian's right. Remember that, guys? Remember the car that caught on fire and the Stanley Cup to survive?
That's why.
I think that. I think you're right, Brian. I think that's driven a lot of it. That's a good. I had forgotten all about that.
It's a hell of a product, but I'm not paying the money they want for it, even the new price. This is a Ozark Trails from Walmart, and this is a damn good cup.
What the hell, Jen? You're up at 9 o'clock, Jennifer? What the hell?
Is Stanley
What the
the
hell?
same one that makes door hardware and stuff? Because there's a Stanley that's...
Yeah, it's all the same, Stanley.
Yeah, they make tape measures and all sorts of things. Good tape measure too.
So I read the book. I think I told you guys the next book I was reading was Built to Sell. John has suggested Built to Sell, and so I've had some time. My first reaction to the book was, I'm not building a business to sell. There's not a lot of. It's good information, but I don't know how much I can use, and so now that I've gone back over it and had some time to reflect on it, there are a lot of lessons in there that even if you're not building a business, to put up guide rails for yourself to make you more. One of the things it talks about is assessing and building your core, the core of your business. And as resellers, I think a lot of us have a tendency to follow the hot topic. Some people always ask me, "What's the hot thing? What do you look for?" Because I did the Monopoly game once, folks. If every time I screw up is when I'm chasing the hot stuff because I don't do enough research on it, because that's not the lane I like to be in. I like digging through yard sales, and I like finding stuff in stores that's not there anymore. And so there's a lot of this book. Sometimes you have to sit back and really think about information you've been given and apply. I talk about it a lot. How do you apply it to your life, to your business, to get? Because unless you can apply something that you've learned to your business, you just got more information that's gonna eventually fall out there. When more information comes on this side, it's gonna fall out the other side. Llama, yeah, it's around here somewhere.
Me and my llama.
I don't know where it is at the current second. It's around here. He has not gone anywhere.
Monopoly got me, so I was really cautious on the llama.
And so another thing he talks about is clarifying the vision of your business, and he kind of focuses that as an exit strategy, and so building a clear business, something that is uh, from the buyer's perspective, and how many times as a reseller do we think about the buyer and what the buyer? Very rare, we only think about the buyers because damn it, they're not buying I've got 1 million items up. Why are my 1 million items not selling? Because you're betting on the once in a blue moon buyer to come by.
You're
And that's the
focused
only
on
buyer.
quantity instead of quality.
That's the only buyer we ever think of. We don't make, we don't build good listings. We don't do all the things that we need to do. And then you wonder, well, I wonder why the buyer hadn't seen this yet. We take bad pictures. There's bad titles, there's errors. Buyers have questions. We don't answer. Is it any wonder that oh, but I'm just supposed to put it on eBay and they're going to buy it. Yeah, we treat the buyer with such disdain because we think they're going to scam us. That is the reselling. Just the reselling thought for the day is what do you think of your buyer? They're out to scam me.
It's most of the time the 100% opposite of that. There are scammy buyers out there. I mean,
but that's the only one that we're concerned with is if they have a. But so look at the lens that most resellers look through. Why do they not answer questions from buyers? Because buyers that ask questions are the ones that return. They've convinced themselves that a buyer that asks questions or is looking for information is somebody who's going to return it. Instead of the thought coming through that maybe I haven't answered the buyer's questions in pictures or the description because my description is just a copy paste of the title down here. But I made the listing. You didn't give them enough information. They're looking for clarity. I've
never had a seller that asked me or a buyer that asked me questions that returned it ever. And it's because I answered their questions correctly.
I mean, you could take a picture of this lens, but maybe they want to know, that you didn't get a picture of the 35 to 80. Maybe you didn't. Let me take the filter off. Sorry. Maybe there's something on there that you didn't get a good picture. Like see how that is? If that glares on there and you can't see it because you crop the picture in eBay's system and now they can't zoom in on it to see. Maybe they're looking to see where this lens is made because a lot of times it'll tell you on here where it's made. Of course, this one doesn't tell you. A lot of them say Japan. This one does not. The older ones say Japan.
I went on Facebook Marketplace this week looking for a MacBook, or it was an iMac. It was cheap, so I thought I'd ask a question about it. And as soon as I asked that question, the buyer marked it, or the seller marked it as sold. They'd rather mark it as sold than answer my question. And all it was is, what year is this thing?
And they at the bottom, you can take a picture of the bottom, but that doesn't tell most people anything because the thing that Canon does with this lens is it's made for different cameras. A Canon and a Sony don't use the same lenses, but by just looking at a picture, how do you? This one's a bad example. I've got a. Of course, this will be a Canon. I've got a. What's the crazy expensive lens?
And just to be clarified, I know they marked it as sold because I asked the question because that thing had been up for weeks.
The camera's in the house. It's the big Sigma lens. It's a Sigma. From the Sigma lens, you can't tell what mount it's for. You need the Sigma. You need to know whether it's Sony, whether it's a. Okay, so that Canon's a good one right here. This Canon. If you're not good enough to do the dissing, what's the difference in these two lenses? They look about the same. Beer. Their mounts don't look the same, even though they're both Canon lenses. They're not the same. This is an M lens. It only goes on M cameras that use the M series, which is my my big camera. That one goes on almost any other Canon. That's a regular lens. But if it's crazy. But we treat the only thing you think of a buyer is God. They're gonna scam me. They're gonna scam me.
Especially with camera lenses, you do yourself well to learn a little bit of something when you're selling something, even if you don't normally want to deal in. You don't normally deal in camera lenses. I don't normally, but I learn enough about it to at least answer the basic questions, and then it gets sold. And I have not had an issue yet, still to this day, with a buyer who's asked me a question.
That's the thought you got to have, folks. If you want to know why your sales aren't down, but yet you're ignoring a customer and you're treating customers like that. You want to assure a customer and get them to buy. Be prompt with answering questions. Okay, so if you screw up and they've asked questions, but you've treated them with kindness and you've done everything you can, and there's some issue, you're going to get the item back in a nice condition. They're not going to, even if you mess up, you'll be extended grace. Even though I was not extended grace this week, I got negative feedback on eBay. The lady said, you sent me the wrong size shoes. I was expecting a size 10. I didn't pay any attention to it. I was, ma'am, I am so sorry. I made a mistake. I have free returns for that reason. If you just throw them back in the same box, I'll get you a 100% refund. And then I look and there's a negative feedback saying seller sent the wrong size. I was looking for a size 10 and they sent a size 7. And so, you guys tell me if I screwed up or not.
So wait, you're still extending grace to somebody even after they've left you a negative comment? Huh. That's a nice idea.
Can somebody I sent the person she said she ordered a size 10 and she got a size 7. Can somebody there tell me who screwed up, me or her?
Size 2390. That's what I'm seeing. Oh, you know why it does say 10 in the title? There is a 10 there.
It says it's the men's gel Noosa Tri 10 running shoe, orange and blue, size 7. And I'm
so here's what I would do in that situation.
I would say, back saying, "Hey, I'm looking at you sent me negative feedback, and you're the one that messed up, not me. I sent you a size 7. The model of the shoe is a Tri Noosa 10. If you need a size 10, you need to order a size 10." And I got a message back saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm gonna undo that. I see that it was my mistake." And so I didn't leave it there, and I sent the lady back a message that I still have free returns. Please send the shoes back, and I'll get your money back. No problem. I have free returns because I made mistakes as well, and I haven't heard from her again. But
I also direct them on how to file that return. I don't just say file a return. Say I chose wrong item or whatever the actual reason for it. Because if not, they're going to say item not as described, and you're going to have to pay for the shipping and all that stuff. So if you put it back on them nicely and professionally, you're going to get that response where, "Oh, I'm sorry, I am the one who screwed up." And then you walk them through the process.
Okay, so this was
simple for you.
Okay, so let's go through all the things. This was not a new eBayer. This person has over 400 feedback. This is somebody who buys and supposedly knows what they're doing on eBay, but can't figure out how to get the right size shoe.
Well, I think we've as sellers are responsible for her behavior in some ways because we've conditioned them
correct
to understand that we're not going to give you a return, even if it is our mistake. So she's going to be angry first. And we've conditioned them to do that. Not us, but as an overall community, it's our fault that buyers act up. Not always. There are some Karens out there, don't get me wrong. But so we've conditioned them to be that way.
But either this is a Karen or this is why I don't leave negative feedback very much. You've really got to piss me off to get negative feedback because, karma sucks.
But you treated her like any other customer. You didn't belittle her.
Nope.
You didn't write her a message say, "What the fuck are you leaving me negative feedback for?"
Nope.
You did it the right way, and you got the right response from it.
It took me a couple of days to figure out that I didn't do anything wrong. I took her word for it at first, just because, my standard response is, "Man, I'm extremely sorry. Please just send it back." But rip PS. Who is PS?
PlayStation? Pauly Shore?
Oh, Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse. I got you.
Oh yeah,
he got a Roadhouse quote up
just
there.
or anything. I see the Roadhouse quote now. Yeah, but
that was tough.
Roadhouse.
So who are your customers? When you're buying items, and what kind of buyer are they? So I've had a couple of them on Amazon. So I've sold a couple items that are expensive because they're not in stores anymore. Well, they're in stores, but I went to 14 stores the other day and found 3 of them. And so when I sent it, they bought one for $42. They sent me a message back saying, I only got 1. Where are the other 5? I ordered 6. And I had to send them a message saying, that says 6 ounces. That means 6 OZ. That means 1 can with 6 ounces. You got exactly what you ordered. This item is not made anymore. I told them, and that's why the price is where it is. I could have been a smart ass and told them, no, you asked for 6 ounces, so I'll put them all in 1 can for you. All that crazy mess. No,
that would have been a great response mentally. I've had that happen a lot, especially on Amazon. I had that happen a lot where it's an ounce thing or a pound.
Because they don't read the listing. They assume because the price is expensive, they're getting the multiples, is what they assume.
I started putting, I can't remember what the product was. It was a couple of years ago, but I started putting the quantity in the title. It got that bad because people kept returning this item, even though it clearly said like you did, 6 ounces. One quantity or 1 piece or 1 unit or something like that. I put in the title so that they understand up front that they're getting 1 item at 6 ounces.
All right. So in the middle of this book, he goes on to spend a lot of time about putting in processes and systems to get yourself out of the business. And most of us as resellers are never going to get to that point unless you're, Jeremy, I had 2 of those. I had another one where I had a discontinued item of lubricant. It's made by Elmer's, and they said the same thing.
I don't want Elmer's lubricant.
Where's the other 4? I ordered 4 cans. I only got 1. I'm like,
get a little sticky.
I'm like, it says 4 OZ. That's a $4 can. So a $4 can sold for $60. You probably want all.
What if you mix up the Elmer's lubricant with the Elmer's glue? That would.
And so how can?
Oh, not that kind of lubricant. I'm sorry, my mind went in the wrong place.
So if you're not going to get yourself out of the business, because most of us are building single owner businesses, maybe 1 employee.
What's that old limerick? I once knew a couple from Manelli who went around.
Scott's over there trying to be all serious and shit.
Sorry,
and he says lubricant. My mind goes in the gut.
I know.
Y'all just killing me. And so how do you benefit from? Do you still benefit if you create operational efficiency? If you think about the way you do things and actually come up with processes where you can have someone help you out, even if you don't have an employee, but what if God forbid you're sick and you need somebody to help you with a little bit of shipping? How do you explain to somebody how to do what you do without a frontal lobotomy and putting your brain in their brain? It gets very tough. And so if you can, the more you can be efficient, the more you can streamline, the more you can build systems. It is amazing. Not only does this building is so much better for shipping since it looks a mess on this side, but the other side is, I have extra shipping room now. Everything is in a line. It goes right down the line. I don't touch it 3, 4, 5 times because the boxes, the tape maker, and the scale are all together. It's absolutely, and they're in the same spot. I work on the tables in the middle now, so there's no junk on the big table on the shipping tables anymore. Because it used to be stuff was in here so much, I would have to move stuff around in order just to ship, and then I'd go back to doing whatever. But now that the shipping area is just the shipping area,
Well, it also becomes overwhelming when you have that much crap around. You just don't want to do anything because, oh, I got to move that, or at least that's me. But this week, I took a couple days off work. I cleaned off my shipping table and I cleaned off back there where I keep my, boxes and things. And I felt so much better about doing things than I did the previous week when I took a day off, you know. So I actually got some stuff done. I felt like a full-time reseller again.
yeah, like I don't want your brain because I don't want to have to worry what time.
Now
is
I got to
mom,
clean out that mess.
What time is mom bringing the waffles? What time is mom serving lunch? I don't want all those problems. So there we go. But there,
Those problems.
so that's my whole goal for this year is to really to focus on learning business. So I had a call last night from a friend and talking about somebody who listens to this channel, and I've been telling y'all read the book with us. Profit First was a great book, and one of the things that we didn't talk about, which we should have talked about. I don't know how we missed it, but they were talking about maybe bringing somebody on as an employee. And so, what did Profit First talk about, and how do they do it? How do you bring an employee on? Because the worst, I ran restaurants for all those years. And so the worst thing is an employee who was brand new in orientation counts the same labor hour as someone who'd been there for 10 years. There was no difference. And so there was always shortcuts taken because you needed that person to be productive immediately. Whether you stuck them on fries and hope they didn't run out of fries, whether they were just pouring drinks or whether they were sweeping up the dining room when you're busy, whatever it was, you needed that person doing something because those labor hours counted against you. We didn't have, for the most part, we didn't have training hours. And so in Profit First, he talks about, set that money aside for 3 to 6 months. And then when you hire the person, you have their salary for however many months you set it apart. And so that way you get used to the money being gone before they get there. So you understand, you make, because, most of us are creatures of habit, whatever that money is, you will, if you have $4,000 budget to spend this month, you'll spend the $4,000. If it's $3,800, you'll spend the $3,800. And so if you get used to operating as if that employee's there 3 months before they're there, not only it gives you a time to build into what that's going to feel like and see if you truly can't afford it, but it also allows you to put that money aside. So when that person comes on, there's not nearly as much pressure on you because you've got their salary set aside for a certain amount of time so that you can spend the time with them to make sure you've got processes in place, make sure you've got everything, a job description and very clear plan about what that person's going to do, when they're going to do it, and what's expected of them. And then you can help train them and mold them into the employee you need them to be, without worrying about, oh my God, this is costing me a fortune. Because if you're a single person and you're bringing somebody on, remember the time that you spend with them front loaded, it's going to cost you from doing what you do best or doing what you're trying to do more of. And so there's going to be a period where it's going to cost you more time. So your productivity is going to go down. And so having that cushion, so he's very smart with that, but we didn't get to that part about that book was really, really, really good. So I challenge you, if you haven't read that book, Profit First is a good place. I'm glad we started there. Trina, that was a great idea from Trina.
I'll tell you, the keeping your money separate thing that he talks about in that book is we've been doing that for about a year now, almost a year now. And we saved up enough money to be comfortably pay our taxes and then probably pay off a nice big credit card bill. And we never missed it because we never saw the money. It went straight into an account. I do it every day, 20% a day. That's what goes into my account. And she does it every day. And now I'm saving in another account just so that I'll never miss the money. It's $5 a day. If you save $5 a day in an account, it's $1,800 something at the end of the year. Well, I want to save up for a new MacBook, and I'm willing to wait a year for it. So, but you never miss that money because you never see that money. You know what I mean? I could see it,
Right.
but I don't miss it because it's not there. Now we live on a pretty strict budget right now, but we're working our way towards not having to live that way. And we're doing a pretty damn good job at it. So,
And that's happened twice, by the way. I've already gotten the message.
there's a dead mouse.
Yeah.
What was it?
We have two dead mice. That's today at 7:44.
I was more concerned about the wings.
Yeah. Where's the other?
Lag, if you turn out to be my nephew, I am going to shut down. And
yesterday, when you disposed of the dead mouse in my office, see, I told you 2 days in a row I have to go get rid of dead mice.
You do act like my nephew, though. You do act like a lot like my nephew Isaac. So it could be.
And so he spends a lot. Go ahead.
You know, you talk about getting more efficient and maybe have to upfront money. Lag was talking yesterday or the day before on one of the chats that he just bought 3 brand new ship stations. So sometimes I guess you got to spend a little money to streamline your business and make it better.
Well, it saves money in the end when you do that. And in that book, Profit First, they talk about that at the end too. If you like with the 3-inch tape, if you're buying 3-inch tape instead of 2-inch tape, yeah, it costs a little bit more up front, but you save a lot in the end. So, you streamline things, it saves you money, even though it costs you a little more up front.
BenchDepot.com.
And
Never heard
he
of
spends
it.
a lot. Yeah, he spends a lot of time talking about building a process and documenting processes. But the next thing he goes into is exactly what you guys are talking about: scalable systems. Yep. It's how do you, even if you're not going to have an employee, folks. The one thing I focus on, I've talked about it a lot, and I didn't realize I should have been writing my own business book. As I talk about it a lot, is I try to make myself more efficient. Why do I have a tape machine? The glorified tape machine over there. Is it cheaper?
Very nice.
Paper tape costs more money than they were inside, Harlan. They made it in the house. They're in the dining room.
Well, it's awful cold outside. They came in.
Yeah, they came in. Johnny heard one of them scratching night before last, and so she put out traps. Now she's killed 3. Yeah, and so the tape machine. Why do you have a tape machine that costs $500? It costs you more to operate because you're looking at a narrow focus on the tape machine. It's the same way you're looking at the 2-inch tape, but the 2-inch tape is cheaper. Why should I use 3-inch instead of 2-inch? It's you use less of the 3-inch. You use less of the 3-inch. The 3-inch makes you faster because the packages because you're not going over and over. How many times I watch these people showing you how to ship stuff and they're just taping the absolute shit out of it. Like you've got a tape box. You don't even need the box. You can kind of pull the box out and the tape will be there. Just send it in the tape. They put so much tape on.
And they use a god awful ugly eBay tape too.
So the paper tape is much more efficient. What's the worst thing about pulling that tape gun? I use this, my 864 box. I use it more than any other box. I need 2 12-inch pieces of tape. I hit the 12, I put it on there, I repack the box, I hit the 12 or repeat either one. It gives me another one. The efficiency with which the professionalism of the box is just a byproduct. The efficiency, I'm so much faster building boxes with that. I had to make a guitar box yesterday because I sold a Guitar Hero guitar. You guys know it was one of the crazy shipping on it. That box looks normal because it is sealed with paper tape instead of, looking like somebody saran wrapped it because you've got so much clear tape on it. It's efficient. Why do I have label printers? Is it technically it's probably cheaper to run a laser printer because it'll print thousands of pages for $10. The paper is much cheaper than labels. Why?
Javis wants to know if eBay tape has gotten any better. I don't use it.
No,
but it was shit when I used it. The plastic, their paper tape is phenomenal though. I really like it.
Very good. It's thicker than most paper tape.
Yeah.
And yes, I took care of that customer yesterday by making sure I didn't put any invoices in his. But I put a big eBay label on it. That was nice, wasn't it? But it's a so if you can't, if you're not going to hire somebody, so how do you get your time back? How do you make it? Remember, your time is very valuable. You know, how do you get back to doing the things you love to do the most in this business? Is you make yourself more efficient in the other things where you can get efficiencies, and that means, I mean, how much money do you spend going to the dumpster to get boxes? Oh, Beard, they're free. These boxes are free. I'm saving a fortune. As you've been looking, but it really doesn't take me. I can get there in 30 minutes, 40. It's only an hour or two. What is the opportunity cost of the hour or two when you could have just used my 5% code for Supply Hut? Where is it? Oh, pop. And order boxes like I did. They will be here. They're probably not coming today like they're supposed to, because I don't know if UPS is running today. But in the next day or two, I need bubble wrap. Did I go to Walmart and did I run around and am I trying to find a clear steel? Or did I go to American Bubble Boy? I've got a code for them too. To get American Bubble Boy to send me 4 rolls of it, because if you buy 4, it's $11, it's $49 or $48. So it's what, $12 a roll?
I thought, I don't use a lot of bubble wrap anymore. So I'll just go, when I run out, I'll go to Walmart or something and buy a roll. Hell no. I ended up going on and buying it on eBay like I always do, because it's so much cheaper in the long run.
Crazy expensive.
Yeah, I just got new bubble wrap. Thanks for the link, Scott.
Flipping Sports Guy, 100% right, man. How much you got to throw the shower in there, or you're just going to ride dirty?
I'm still a proponent of using used boxes if they're easy to come by. Like my dentist's office, which is today is the last day I can get boxes from my dentist. Good quality boxes, and it's easy, and I get to visit with friends, right? But
wrong one.
Most of the boxes I use are new.
Kathleen, that's a good point. I'll get to you in a second. See, Jeremy, most people can understand if I tell them a thermal printer saves you time, and I believe the negligible cost, because you can get free labels from UPS. I gotta roll this week. Oh, but Beard, I have to call fan fold this or that. Buy the little thing that fits behind the printer. I've got one over there. I ordered the big roll. It's the 400 roll, whatever. It'll just roll them out. Kathleen,
you can get one of those label holders on Temu for like $5.
And like that. Opportunity cost is an important business term to understand and implement when in your day. Most people they don't get it, Kathleen. They don't understand that. How does okay? So I reuse Amazon boxes because some of them come in great sizes, and I will reseal them and they look very professional. But what is the opportunity cost of customers have an expectation? I did a video a while ago that says being an Amazon seller makes me a better eBay seller than you. It's because one of the factors is Amazon requires new boxes because they understand the value of even though they will ship you something with one fucking air pillow. They understand the value of the customer receiving a new box and the expectations when they open a box and receive a box. An Amazon customer does not expect for you to take their item and shove it in a flat mailer and have your brother sit on it while you unpull the little tape because it fit in there because you saved $1 on shipping. That's not, Rolo's a life changer. I can't quit lying.
Rolo, I would agree with Rolo being a life changer if it was cheaper.
Rolo is a money is blood sucking. I'm never going to be their sponsor. They're never going to sponsor me. So there you go. Buy one of the cheap ones. We had one here on this show. Steve's got one. We found one on Black Friday or whatever it was. Steve found it was $40, $42. You can have 5 of those break before you for the price of one Rolo.
I actually wanted to do a follow up on that. Did anybody buy that, and how is it working? I know Jacob bought one, but I don't know if he's hooked it
I
up.
bought
yet.
one, but it's still sitting over there.
I just wanted to know how it was. I know it's the
just
same one as
keeping it
Scott's
for
mom.
a backup, in case my dynamo dies.
And I should have bought one, but I didn't.
So Jeremy says that it's not on my order form anywhere. I guess I have to call him. Last time I got him, I had to call him. So, Larry, that's a good point. If you're going to use a laser printer, they will give you free 2-ups as well.
My wife uses the 2-ups. I use the fan folds, the 4x6s.
That guy is a genius.
Yeah, I don't know. We need a link to that guy's channel.
That guy's a genius.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's a full-fledged label printer right there that he's opening, and it was $40. And Scott has personal dealings with that. I think I'm a stutterer, and I just realized it.
My mother
dealings with that. I'm being serious.
My 77-year-old mother's got that printer. If she can use it, anybody can use it.
So that's why when it came up it was on a Black Friday deal, and boy, was that a good deal. I still wish I would have bought one because they're $89, $90, $100.
Yeah, normally, yeah.
I don't even know what size labels it takes.
I have bet it's 4x6.
Any kind of it'll take any label. That is one that when you put the label in it, it will move it back and forth and identify.
Yeah.
It is a very liberal printer. It self-identifies the label.
I can use the.
Yes, it'll when you feed it in there, it'll recognize that label. And
I'm not going to use it though. I'm a conservative.
It self-identifies the label for you.
It can only recognize 2 labels.
So Cassie Castaway says she bought it. It works great.
Okay, good. I didn't want to give people a bad deal, but I knew it was a good deal. So.
Dark Horse, you can't be responsible.
I'll sell you this one, Sadie. $89 plus shipping.
But by the way, I've been looking into stuttering, and it seems like I may actually be a stutterer, and I never realized it.
I never thought that about you, Steve.
So Kling Dave,
I have a hard time coming out with the words, even though I know what I want to say, and that's stuttering.
I don't recognize the name Kling Dave. Welcome to the show. Thanks for commenting. That you're 100% correct. Dynamo versus I'm past that. I love my dynamos. I would tell you it'd be Dynamo versus generic because I understand that Rollo is they're like Kent said, customer service is what they're selling you because their printer is just that you can look at their printer and go, well, damn, I can find that same one on Amazon for a third of the price. And so if you're someone who is pretty decent with it, if you're just average, that printer, the cheaper printer will do you fine. I mean, there's really not a lot to them.
I even think if you're, I think, see what I mean? I think you're doing fine as long as you have a thermal printer. Even that cheap thermal printer is going to do you fine as a business person because your mom's been using that for how long? And other people say I saw people say they've run 2,000 labels through those things or 3,000 labels.
She's had it for 6 months now. And I didn't even have to help her install it. She had managed to install it by herself. And I've always had to install everything, and she installed it by herself. That's how easy that thing is.
John Jones says the only reseller reviews he's seen on Rollers were sponsored by Rollo. Of course they were. Now, Rollos are really good printers. Don't get me wrong, but they all are. They do a simple job. It's they're all the same thing.
So sky's the limit. It depends how much you sell. For most people, the cheapest way out is to use if you only sell a few items. The cheapest thing is that a laser printer is by far the cheapest.
Delayed word accusation.
But it's and you can find them at yard sales. I find them all the time. $5 to $10 for a Brother laser printer. You find them at thrift stores. You can find them at Goodwills and stuff. They all look the same. They just have different model numbers, but they're big squares. They're hard to miss. They print on top. Most printers don't kick the paper out on top. But Brother laser is definitely the way to go. But if you sell more than 20 or 25 items a month, the thermal starts to depend. What's your time? Are you a part timer that has limited time? The thermals are much faster because you can't imagine the amount of time you save. Oh, but Me and Dust used to have this argument all the time. I'm really good at putting a piece of tape and putting a piece of tape.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm really good at doing this.
Even the 2-up labels are I mean, even the thermal even beats the 2-up labels, because those 2-up labels are going to sometimes be too big for the package. So you got to
You
cut.
gotta- yeah.
My wife has to cut every single one. And it's nice to just stick on a package. You don't have to tape it down, but you still got to cut it. The thermal printer, I print one out, I rip it off, and I stick it. I mean, it's easy.
Yeah, so now
Watch your yard sale.
Tom's getting serious now. He brings Zebra into this thing. I use a Zebra every day. That thing is
my Dymo sits in the closet while my Zebra does all the work.
The Zebras are it's a freaking workhorse. So I use the Dymo once a day, and the Zebra prints all the rest of them. The Dymo prints out the scan label that I take to the post office because it prints it. The difference between the Dymo and all the rest of those printers, the Dymo prints at 300 dpi. It is the quality of the print. The rest of them print at 203 max. And if you've got if you scale down the scan sheet to one 4x6 label, the 203 doesn't scan, and the 300 does.
Oh, he didn't want to be on camera, did he?
She came in here barked because she wants a treat, and she's already had a treat this morning.
Oh, I misgendered the dog. I'm sorry.
All right, so roll all day.
Hey, whatever. I mean, if you're a fan of that printer, buy that printer. You know, if you need the customer support, buy that printer. But I'll take my Zebra or my Dymo or my generic Chinese printer.
None of them break, Kent. I put a number sticker on this one. That's Dymo number 1 because I have multiple Dymos. That one's been. I bought this one in 2015. Old number 1 is.
The build quality of that type of Dymo right there, though, I don't like. I've had them break, and they're impossible to fix.
I still have labels. Look at me. I still have labels.
I was able to get it. So my Dymo was pulling labels from behind through the back. But once I switched to the Zebra, I will never go back to the Dymo as a workhorse.
I should have known that was a great distraction into it. But printer labels are easy. So if you understand the efficiency of a apply that to everything else in your business. I'm telling you right now, apply it to the fact that you go to yard sales. Oh, but Beard, I just have one car. I track the mileage. How much time do you add up mileage to add up mileage for $5 a month? I pay $55 a year for Everlance. I don't have a link or anything.
Why is mine 60?
Or maybe I pay 60. Who knows? Whatever it is on the eyes. It's $5 a month.
I just got charged, so I think
it's $59.99. Is that what it is?
Something like that.
So for $5. So if you miss 2 or 3 trips, it costs you $5. This is the thing. This is the biggest. You know, people will argue. I just take the beginning and mileage and ain't it, and I then this and that. What the hell? At the end of the year, to get your mileage, all you do is tell it to print your report, January to December, or click the year button, and it kicks out all your mileage for the year. How much time did you spend adding them up? Whenever you could have you had an email.
Here's my work mileage from last year. See if we can get it.
Dang.
How do you apply this efficiency in everything you do? You know, is there a $5 app that makes you better? Okay. This phone with Amazon, as I've gone back into doing a lot more retail arbitrage, blows.
I will be right back.
How much time do I waste scanning? I can scan the same barcode and get 4 different things. On eBay, it works perfect. It's Amazon. It's not the phone. It's not anything. It's Amazon. I've got another phone over there. It is now got cellular service for $10 a month. 2 gigabytes of data. All I use the list. I list on eBay with every day on Wi-Fi. That doesn't count. It's only I went to the thrift store the other day where this one has no service. That one's got plenty of service. How many items have I not picked up at a store because, I'm like, oh, well, whatever. And then left because I didn't have the ability to look it up there, and I was too lazy to go outside. And it's not only go outside, but it's go halfway across the parking lot because you got to get away from the crazy metal building. $10 a month. There's no contract. There's no anything. US Mobile will let you bring your own phone, not even charge you anything to hook it up. It's $10 a month for 2 gig of data to have a second phone. It's cheap. It's absolutely cheap. That it makes me much more efficient. Okay, Beer, but look at you're adding $5 and $10. I cut 3 services out. Don't miss the profit first part where you need to examine this time of year, especially as you're going through taxes and you've got all your numbers together. It's much easier. What subscription do you pay for? I cut 3 in the last 3 weeks when I looked at my expenses in order to. I'm of the opinion now that if I need another subscription, something else is probably going to go, or there's got to be a justification for it. And I have a list now so that every month I know exactly what comes out, and it comes out of the expense account now. So I see it. It's much easier. Imagine that if you have a checking account that just has all your expenses and nothing else, it's much easier to see it. Because at first I thought, man, I can just operate this out of one account. Michael's crazy, Mikowski, or however you say his last name. What?
I want to speak real quick to that second phone idea. I even bought a second phone.
Don't confuse me with your flat earth stuff back there. Don't come in here and tell me you're a flat earther and looking at that stuff back there. You cannot confuse me. But it's so if you have
not a flat earther.
You have an account that just has all your expenses, and it's much easier to see than the account that pays everything, and everything is all jumbled up and you have no clue where everything's coming and going. It's absolutely amazing if you make it to where you can see it, and then you look at these accounts. And again, Trina, you weren't in here earlier, but thank you for suggesting that book. It's really, I think, a lot of dividends.
I gotta say, even before I didn't know anything about Profit First or Dave Ramsey's situations or anything like that, we decided a couple of years ago to separate all the accounts. So we have an expense account, and that's all it's used for. And that's where anything that goes in that account is for expenses. And then we both have personal accounts, and we have several accounts. I just opened a new one just for the eBay stuff.
Oh, Kent. A regular printer and a roller printer is not the same as a Kia and a Mercedes. Come on.
No, the Kia is so much better.
It's not like the thermal printer is going to die after it prints 100 labels, like a Kia hits 100,000 miles and it's just going to go to the crap.
That's not true either. It's 150,000. Ask me how I know.
You tried it twice?
I'm on my second try. We'll see how this one goes. I am not going to, my next car won't be a Kia, and it's not because I don't like them. It's because this time of year, I need something that handles the road much better. Kias are not good in the winter. At least mine, the 2 that we have. And we both have brand new good tires on them too. So I take days off when it snows because I don't feel like driving in the snow all day.
All right, Kent, you can keep your Mercedes if you want to. If you want to make a real comparison, let's go Toyota Mercedes. There you go.
You can make a good comparison there.
So, folks, understand this. If you keep your eyes out, a lot of you guys, a lot of you are Amazon sellers and eBay sellers, either one of folks, you find this stuff all the time at thrift stores. People give up and donate it. Yep. If they quit reselling, they're not going to resell their printer to resell. They're just going to they just throw the towel.
They've already quit. They've already quit.
and we assume because we are resellers, that's all these crafters and people who are doing Etsy and people who do all kinds of different businesses use these printers. And when it goes under or goes up, or they donate or they upgrade or they whatever. One of my Bluetooth scanners, I've got one in the car and one in the truck. One of those came from a yard sale for $2. I got a Bluetooth scanner at a yard sale for $2.
Mine came out of the bins. I don't know where it's at. Oh, this little one came out of the bins for $1. And I got another one at a yard sale for $1. The little finger one, I think, came out of the bin. This one might have came from the yard sale.
Trina says she's got a barely used laser printer for sale. Just throw it on eBay. You'd be amazed at how fast it'll. Amazon, especially, man.
I will never get rid of my laser printer, even though I don't use it very often anymore. But I'm going to start doing what Scott suggested and putting the invoices in there because it does make more sense. So I'll probably use the laser for that.
I don't know if Everlance is better than MileIQ. Everybody was using MileIQ, so like, you know what? I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna use Everlance.
I forget why I was using MileIQ, and I started using Everlance for some reason. I don't remember why. Something happened with MileIQ, or I just wanted to try something different. But
They're about the same price.
When I first got Everlance, it didn't track every mile. It kept shutting off on me. But now it works great.
It was a phone. You've got to go in.
It was an iPhone thing.
Yeah, it was an iPhone thing. You've got to go in and tell always. And then iPhones too have even if you tell something always and always to run, if you don't go in and open it up every now and then, iPhones will shut it down. That's not the app. That's an iPhone thing.
Yeah, I haven't had to shut it down or open it up in a long time. I opened it up today to just show you guys, but
even Android is the same way, unless you click that little button that says "Don't revoke permissions" or something like that. Same way though.
I think the one difference is right here. If you look on the, it has one where if you can connect the bank account, it'll track expenses for you. I think that was the one reason why. Other reason, I don't think I think MileIQ is just straight mileage, right?
I think so. I don't remember. It's been a couple of years since I used it.
This will track expenses for you if you needed something to extract. I think that was my original intent. Remember, I started using it before I had an accountant, so I was trying to figure out a way to do a better job.
Either one you decide to use, the thing is, you set it and pretty much forget it.
Yep.
Every mile I leave from this house is pretty much business. I hardly ever do anything personal, and it's easy to swipe off a personal thing anyway.
When making stickers and non-shipping labels, save it as a PNG or it will print collect. All right.
It's only a semi-pro tip, though.
Only a semi-pro. So QuickBooks has a built-in mileage tracker. Trina, do you have experience using that? Or Jacob, do you use that?
My brother used it for a little while, and it is good. He uses Everlance now, but it's not as accurate. But if you use QuickBooks Small Business, I think it is, you can it hooks in correctly or directly, if you want to call it, into it. And so I
started out with QuickBooks Small Business, but it doesn't have all the features and that Jared wanted.
Right.
So we switched over to the other.
Does not work for a reselling business, but for my brother who does construction, it seems to work okay because he doesn't actually use it that much for the accounting side of things. He just uses.
It's been a few years since I used that, so I don't remember why he asked us to switch, but it was.
Oh yeah,
it didn't work the same way.
Well, it lacks features like inventory. It lacks features in a lot of ways.
So, Kit, every time I see you comment about supporting Rollo, the thought keeps going through my head. Poor dumb Cajun boy need help with installing on computer. Can wrestle crocodile, can't wrestle printer. I just insulted everybody from Louisiana. Sorry about that.
Are you though? No.
Jeremy, that's terrible advice.
Yeah, mine has that, but I will not use it because they also can see how fast I'm driving.
They can use your speed against you. They can charge you more for if you drive, especially if you do any kind of reselling and drive more than average. Yeah, that's terrible.
Forever. Once they have it, they'll have it forever.
Yeah, I didn't used to drive the way I do now, but I rode with Scott once, and now I kind of drive like him. Well,
It's-
the way I have to drive faster than the average person, and kind of take a few chances that the average person wouldn't take, because I got to get back to the store.
So sky's the limit. Are you talking about for eBay or Amazon? I can understand that if you're launching a private label product and you need professional pictures for an Amazon listing, I would tell you that definitely that was probably a good time to hire someone to take the picture for product pictures. But for eBay, oh my God, no.
You know what I did? I bought 2 pieces of poster board at Dollar Tree. Threw one on the bottom table and one on the wall, and that's my picture taking spot. Yeah, the background comes out a little yellow sometimes, but people buying on eBay realize they're buying from an individual. They're not expecting 100% quality professional pictures. People buying on Amazon think they're buying from Amazon, and they expect professional photos.
If they're gonna drop you, Harlan, they'd probably try to arrest me.
Well, my rates would definitely go up if they saw how
The
fast I
the
drive.
Earth is a triangle, right? All right. So back to
No, I have 2 Earths. I believe in 2. That's why I have 2 right here.
so, and then the other
The
thing,
second dimension.
the book kind of ends with building a team of stars, and then once you've got that team, allowing them to to do what they do, they can you're the one much more of a manager at the end of this, the way their business, the way the book ends. But there are so many lessons to learn from. If you think about it differently, even if what's an author of a book trying to tell you, what's someone you're listening to, what's a podcast, what's a reselling show, what information are they putting, and it becomes, how does that affect me? They've got a good idea. How does that benefit my business? You might, you see Bearded Picker talk about a tape machine and go, well, I can't afford the $500 one, but I've got 150. Maybe I get the manual one. And then you look back at some old videos and go, wait a minute. He started with a manual one. The manual one is still much more efficient because you're still mashing the button and pulling the handle down.
It takes half a second extra with the manual.
So there's ways, I'm new to this and I'm using the 2-inch tape. Next time I'm gonna order the 3-inch.
I worked in a box factory that had tape machines. You know how many automatic tape machines we had? 0. They were all manual. Every single one of them.
Because they don't break for the most part.
Same brand.
My manual one never jammed. The other one will jam every now and then. The manual one never jammed.
I've noticed when I get towards the end of the roll, it wants to jam. So what I've learned to do is take this roll and then put it onto the next one and then roll it, so I get a small piece and I lick it and put it onto the next roll and it works fine.
Mine is fun. Lately, mine has been the last half of the roll. It's kind of rolled too tight or got humidity
You
on it.
don't have to lick it. You can use a sponge. I don't care how you do it.
I
don't use the part that I licked.
You can use the sponge that's on the machine.
But anyway, that's how I do it. And then I haven't had a jam since.
I'm gonna have to talk to my supplier because I can only accept so much free paper tape if it's not 100% quality. So if my supplier's out there listening, make sure you send the good stuff and quit keeping the good stuff for yourself.
Steve, did that taste like Elmer's lubricant?
Let's find out.
What's your reference point, Steve?
It has more of an envelope-y taste.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's not going to kill you. Non-toxic.
Not today.
Jeremy,
Stevie, he'll lick anything.
I believe she's got a thermal printer. She's just getting rid of the label. She's got a label printer. She's getting rid of the laser.
Jared has us use regular QuickBooks, by the way, Laura.
I like the coach. I hate the way college football is right now, and I get the portal. I understand the portable, but to open it up for teams. Okay, so if a coach leaves and you got Okay, so I'm okay with allowing the players to leave because if the coach leaves and they're there to play for the coach, I'm fine with that. The problem I'm not fine with is they will not end the tampering. Whenever Coach Saban retired, it became open season on Alabama's roster for anybody who wanted to. Okay, so let's say you're the University of Texas and you want one of our number one wide receiver, a former 5-star. So what do? You contact him and say, listen, we'll pay you this month if you just go in the portal, and then we'll give you a lease on a Lamborghini. And then the next thing you know, he's the first one out of the portal, never meets with the new coach, won't return the new coach's call. He's got pictures of himself in the Lamborghini, and he signs with Texas because Texas tampered with our players. Texas should be on probation and face suspension for roster tampering. There's something's got to be done about that. If you go mess with a player or a coach in the NFL, they take draft picks from you and everything else. There's got to be something that keeps these teams honest. I mean, here I am saying honest when the national champion of the NCAA suspended her coach twice for violating rules and for cheating. And we all say, look at Michigan. Oh, hell, Michigan, the great Michigan. Harbaugh has finally won a championship. He fucking cheated to get there, folks. Face it or not. Did Alabama cheat? Alabama got caught, and we paid our price. Michigan needs to pay the price. There you go. I'm off my soapbox.
I want to say they probably all, to some extent.
Buck Mountain
cheating.
Tampering, Buck Mountain. What's the first thing that happened? You guys still want what is your Kirby Smart? Everybody thinks Kirby Smart could be the next Nick Saban. Kirby Smart doesn't have half the integrity Nick Saban has. He's stealing coaches. He's trying to steal coaches and steal players. As long as they allow the people to do this, college football is going to be wrecked if they don't fix it. I do nominate Saban to be the czar of college football. Somebody needs to be there needs to be a commissioner of college football. So there you go. 9-12. So Dark Horse says Rolo, the firmware forces you to operate the way they demand. Yeah. And then so here's another one. I found myself spending way too much time obsessed with all the Alabama football, so I quit watching it. Folks, even something you love can be something distracting. And it's been a crazy distraction. And so I'm now putting until practice starts, or on the 9th of February, I'll watch Signing Day. But other than that, it's way too time consuming. Can't. So Nicolette says that Canva Pro has a background. They do. So Canva's $15 a month, $10 or $15 a month. It also has AI. You can do AI pictures with it now. And so I didn't sign up to do Mid-Journey for their $10 because I'm already paying Canva $15. It will do not to the same level, but very close. It also has if you look at the thumbnail for this picture, the Bob the Builder had Bob the Builder's logo in it somewhere. It has a magic eraser where I had to erase all that so I can stick the beard in the corner. It's in the back screen. You can barely see it for the thumbnail of Bob the Builder for about building business. So it also has a very good object eraser to go with the background removal, to go with the AI. So it is Canva can do a lot of things. Canva, the logo in the corner of their bearded picker, all the logos I made all of them on Canva. They have a lot of templates. The strength of Canva has tons of templates.
If you just need a really good background remover, there's a free tool called remove.bg. That's the website. That one works really good for me. But I like Canva too. Canva is pretty cool. I'm not sure if we're still paying for Canva or not. I'll have to look.
Robert Bowman. I knew somebody was gonna go there. I was trying to hope y'all didn't, but there you go.
For some reason, I have a funny taste in my mouth. I've been licking
So
everywhere.
Spirit Junkie got the book for later. Never Split the Difference. Started reading it this week. I will
Reading
get
it
that
myself right now.
I will get that one by the end of the week and start on it.
I'm about halfway through.
I'm waiting for the library to give me the electronic version. Oh, I still haven't got Profit First. That is a really popular book. So, I mean, I did get a version off of YouTube, but it's not the same.
But so Robert says he uses Photo Room. It's like $60 a year. It has AI now. So the one thing I would tell you is as you're looking at what expenses you have and evaluating which ones to keep, really look at what they offer. It's amazing that I don't need Midjourney because Canva will do this. I don't need this because some of the things I'm already paying for do things, and that I was looking at incurring other expenses. It's amazing how fast as AI has changed things and how fast things are changing. With these apps are trying to be the stay ahead of the game, stay up, stay current, and these different programs. So it's amazing that if you were doing pictures for eBay and if some of those pictures, you could use Canva to redo all your pictures. Canva has an app. I haven't used it for that because I believe that every now and then you need to put some feet pictures in with your pictures, or a thumb or a finger.
I used to be really against feet pictures and thumb pictures. And this week I took a picture of a book. This book here. It's a fairly rare book. And it's probably never been read, so it doesn't open very well. So I just opened to the title page so that people could see it was the first edition. And I left my finger right in the picture. I didn't care because it's on eBay. And people realize on eBay that they're buying from an individual. My front door alarm keeps going off.
But it's so in streamlining your business, it's amazing to save the money, but because you just think about it this way, there's items that you buy. How many items you have to buy to cover some of these? You ever think about your business in that terms? As what's your break even? How much work do you have to do just to get above water, get your head above water? And that the lower you can make that number.
Train.
Are you not having a quiet zone? Could you not tell them that we're busy?
I did. They didn't listen. They couldn't hear me.
Take one of your willows, plant it right beside the track so you can put a sign on it.
They are actually the least distance from the track that they can be. I think.
So lag did some beta testing, and the big toe converts the best. Always the big toe. I can't confirm or deny, but I heard if I had a toe in this picture, it would probably sell more of these.
I do think, though, I had my thumb in that one picture on that page. I do think the nicer your pictures look, the better the sale you're going to get. But I don't think it's so important to not have flaws in your pictures. I think because on eBay, because people expect it, and I want to know that I'm buying from an individual.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about pictures is maintaining the integrity of the picture. Do the zooming in the camera, whatever it is. If you use your phone, if you use your camera, the best tip I can give you there's two best tips. Lighting fixes everything. More light, natural light, more light, and then do the zoom in the camera. So when you upload it, that the quality of the picture is still there. Do not do the cropping in eBay's app as little as possible, because that maintains so that a customer can make a picture bigger and still see details. Those are the two.
Worst case scenario, do it on your phone before you upload it. Use the phone's cropping feature. I definitely agree with that for sure.
You should be getting the photo crop. You should be zoomed in as much as possible prior to any editing.
Because remember,
as close as you can get to that product.
Once the picture's uploaded in the eBay systems, you're now dealing with what quality they will allow and what their hosting platform allows. And so there's automatic degradation of the picture. And so you need to do everything to it, because the camera, if you're using your phone, it doesn't downgrade the picture when it crops. It maintains it, cuts it out or whatever.
The first thing that eBay does when you upload a photo is reduce the resolution down to the max size that they allow, and then if you crop later, you're reducing it from that point. And that's the key, is that eBay is reducing the photo immediately when you upload it.
Jeremy, I assume everybody knows that. I assume everybody knows to put you got to do a square. It's got to be 1-to-1. That one I assume everybody knows. And if you don't know, 1-to-1. That'll be tip 3. 1-to-1. eBay expect the square picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's everything that I learned in that business. And so the one thing I guess I temper my expectations. The one thing, as reading these business books, I think I've been exposed to a lot of concepts and ideas. I look forward to as I read how people frame things in their book and the context with which different concepts are framed. It's going to challenge the way I think about something, because you can hear something from 3 people, and you hear it again from the 4th person and go, "I'm damn, I never thought about it that way." And I think there's going to be a lot of that with these business books, and I look forward to that, because you got to find that. That's why I say I'm gonna listen to more of Mike Mikowski's books, because I like the way he presents things. I like the way he explains things. So if he's got other ideas, I think that I would be able to apply it. Find that person, that author, as you're doing reading it, that really that you really can understand and can apply. It's does pirate ships save money? Absolutely. So Jessica, it's a great question. It connects automatically to your eBay store. Absolutely. All you do is go to connections, I think, or sources, and then tell it to authorize the connect. Put your eBay store in, or click on the link to your eBay store, and you got to make a couple more clicks, and that's it. Put a credit card on there that's got points, as what most people do. And the one thing eBay doesn't give you is they don't give you cubic shipping. So you'll save there, and they do not do cubic ground advantage cubic. And I've saved quite a bit of money with ground advantage cubic here lately. And I need to find out I don't know what the dimensions are on ground advantage cubic. I need to find out if they're the same as regular cubic, or I'll do that.
They definitely go bigger, but I don't know how big. So it's definitely a half cubic is your maximum on priority, right? Or it used to be anyway.
It is.
It's definitely bigger than that, because I ship 10 boxes, and it goes cubic. So I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be a 1.
But there are sometimes that just regular old UPS is cheaper. And there's some weird stuff going on. Does anybody know that the USPS, did they lift the $10 surcharge on large items?
I haven't heard.
Because I shipped that guitar yesterday through eBay. I didn't do pirate ship. I did through eBay because I was just sticking it on there. And they only charged me like $12 to ship that guitar here, or $14. And it's 30 inches. It should have had a $10 surcharge on it. So does anybody know that? Did anybody see if the new rates on UPS, that they removed the oversized surcharge? Because there was a surcharge at 20 inches or 24 inches and another one at 30. Uh,
I haven't heard.
There's
I
a
was shocked.
25. There was a 25 on UPS.
No, USPS, not UPS.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I wonder if that also might be a negotiation that some of these platforms have done, is to eliminate that fee. So if you ship retail, you might still have that. But if you ship through pirate ship, for example, because I know sometimes pirate ship will make an announcement that, hey, these fees are waived.
Well, I saw the email the other day and I didn't read it. I need to, because pirate ship sent out an email saying USPS is about to be cheaper. I need to look. I'll go back and look that up. Should have done a video or whatever it was, but I distracted.
Nicole wants to know, Nicolette, excuse me, about media mail. Sometimes eBay doesn't give me that option. I've always found it on pirate ship, but sometimes you have to do a little digging. After you get your rate quote, you have to dig through there.
I talked way too soon. They're wanting to know where their pack is. I paid $49. Where's my pack? Or $42. Where's my pack? If you didn't read, I will look at the listing again for you, because, yeah.
I'm doing a rate quote on pirate ship just to see about the
so Scott Condon says cubic maximum, one side 18 inches, 1 cubic foot, 20 pounds.
Yeah, I definitely can tell you it's the 20 pounds, because I remember running into that one. Yep. For ground advantage.
But Jessica, I use pirate ship most days. I don't know why, if that Guitar Hero a guitar I didn't yesterday. But it struck me as very odd that I wish I would have thought about it then and gone and put it in pirate ship to see if.
Oh, I know how to do this.
If the dimensions thing was a mistake or not a mistake. I was so excited at the fact that it was so much cheaper than I thought it was going to be. I just printed it. And I should have gone to pirate ship to check that one out.
I'm trying to figure this
out. Trina says, what do you do when eBay or pirate ship doesn't give you the option for media mail?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Pirate ship will always give you the option for media mail. All you have to do is click the little button that says qualifies for media mail.
I just did one and it didn't give me that box. That's what so sometimes.
So is it the box is missing sometimes?
I didn't see it. Maybe it might be my dimensions too. Let me change dimensions and see what happens. I'm just messing around with a fake one.
So eBay Junior, I just have them take it out of funds.
Okay, yeah. So underneath, after you pick box or envelope or whatever it is, underneath that there's a box that says extra services.
Yes.
And then you click qualifies for media mail.
Yeah, so pirate ship should always have that option, I would think.
I do think it does depend on your package size though, because I just did one that just made up some dimensions and it might have been, but because it didn't give me that, but it does. There is that extra services, then qualifies for media mail.
Nicola says she's not finding it.
Try the bag in a box or box in a bag option if you have that, because that's the last one I used. But let me check box or rigid package. Yeah, I still get it.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, if your books aren't listed in books, eBay will not give you that option. Sometimes I've had it, but
I see it show up all the time. I sell a lot of small items, and media mail is always shows up.
I don't always get it, but she found it. Good. I'm glad you found it.
You didn't go to work today? wuss. Drive into work.
All right, now that Harlan's here, I'm going to take off.
Damn.
Actually, I got a little private pick today. My dentist office is shutting down, so he's giving me all the equipment and stuff.
Go snatch some gold teeth.
Well, no, there's some stuff, small stuff that, like last time, because this is the second office he shut down, so because he's retiring.
Get
And
the
last time we
chair
got some
like
electronics and old computer stuff and keyboards and stuff like that. So that's what I'm hoping, and plus all his old boxes too, which are really good quality.
That's the one nice thing about Pirate Ship, though, is you got a little more control because you can tell it what extra services you need, and it will then add it to it. And it's also the one you got to watch, because if you're selling a book, it's not automatically going to put media unless you click qualifies for media. So how do you get?
I have more trouble with then I'm going to leave. I have more trouble with Amazon not giving me the media mail option, and so I'll use Pirate Ship in those cases. But all right, I'm out. Sweetwater out.
So here's the one way around it. So Nicola, here's the one thing I challenge you to do is I sell a lot of media that qualifies for a media rate. So instead of me having to check the box every time, you can save the labels. And so I have quite a few labels that are saved. And when you save it, it'll allow you to name it. So I have one for, qualifies for media mail. And so all I do is click the little use a save. It says don't use a save. You click it, it brings it down, and I click the one I want, and it automatically checks the media box for you, and it jumps over to the other page because the weight and dimensions are already in there. So I've got like a 10x8. Actually, I just put them all. I think I put them all 11 8x2. That's the bubble mailer, and I mistakenly put them in as 4 ounces, 8 ounces, 12 ounces before realizing that media mail is all it's all the same from 1 pound. So I should have just put one for 15 ounces because dimensions don't matter for the first one. But it saves a lot of time. I have an 8x6x4 at 8 ounces, 12 ounces, 15 ounces. I have a 10A6 for the same, so that instead of typing in on Pirate Ship, instead of typing in your dimensions and all that stuff, you just check box down and click one, and it jumps to the other screen. So
use VCO.
Huh?
I said you could just use VCO.
It'd be the exact same thing though, because the worst thing to do is
it remembers the specifics for that item or any item similar, or if you put it in.
I have a tendency to make up dimensions when that wouldn't help.
Okay, fair enough. You're right. Here's the most expensive one I've sold so far.
How much was that one?
$153.
Oh, man.
Shipping it out this morning. Guess
should
what? It'll go in a box, UPS, and they'll get it in a few days.
Are you double boxing that one?
I use the pillows. I don't double box it, but I use a 10-10-10 box for just.
That's another. If you're shipping, that is a great tip. If you got expensive items, they truly tell you need 2 inches around it to absorb any kind of. So if you got an item that's like, I have an air pillow machine. It would be surrounded in air pillows. It would have bubble wrap. It would be bubble wrap. I'd even probably put something inside the cup because a lot of people do that where they ship inside the cup, so any of the stresses.
It's probably just perception when you put it inside of it, but I care what they perceive. So yes.
But it would be bubble wrapped and then pillow wrapped and then a larger box that has no movement whatsoever. Yeah, that would. Lag wants to know when can he expect his cup.
After he orders it. I put him inside one of these just because.
Right.
And then in an envelope, he slides it into an.
And then this.
I've never seen that before. What is that?
After the show. No.
Right there.
Yep. Right.
So
I
if y'all
also
don't-
use it to wrap this stuff in it.
so that's the air pillow machine. Everybody thinks it just makes air pillows, but it also makes quilts and
I need to get some of those.
I like the quilts better than I like those. I think they're a little stronger.
I need to get some. I need to get a roll of that. I just ordered
Because
one.
if quilts, each one of them has two chambers. And so if one of them busts, you still got the other one. Where that one, if one of them busts, you take down two.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest difference. The quilt will it's a touch stronger because it's got to be busted in two places.
Yeah.
It's also a little tighter, so it's not nearly as. Yeah. No ceiling tiles either. No ceiling tiles. No bed sheets.
Hopefully nobody's watching that's close enough that knows where to find this item. Scott knows what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is.
I don't care. You can sell it anytime you want to. Don't bother me. Don't matter.
Some expensive stuff. People are crazy, man. And so that's another one. That's an item that people pay a lot of money for, and you take a lot of care in shipping it. I think people don't understand that am I the only one that does that? The more an item costs, the much more care and concern I take with shipping it. Lag, you got to pick the right city. There are quite a few cities in that series. Harlan froze like some kind of Chinese bad picture. So the weather has been doing the ice and stuff has been doing terror on the internet. Our power blinked yesterday. Must have been 8 or 10 times. And then you got to wait for the routers, and then because I run a mesh network behind the router, I have to go reset that. My router has an error in it somewhere, and every time it blinks, I have to go reinitialize the router, which means I have to go in and put in a new password every single time.
So if Lag's name really is Christina and lives in Alpharetta, whatever that is, Georgia, okay. Whoever it is, that's who's going to get it.
Trina says she gets free pillows from work. Very nice. I just like the fact that one. So, I already had the roller, and so I kept the roller from one of the bubble wraps. And now every time, because it's got tape on it, the tape wore out, so I put another piece of tape on it inside out. And so every time I run off air pillows now, instead of them being everywhere, I just roll them back to a roll that's it measures it out in numbers. I know what number now gives me that much. And so I just make that much. If I was smart, I would make that and air pillow or the pillows and the quilts at the same time. Yeah, Nessa, it's been the ice. The wind was really bad here, and then I guess the ice was messing with the power yesterday. Never had, knock on wood, have not had any issues today. But Harlan started having issues last night. But we did not have any here. There was something wrong. Internet yesterday yesterday was really bad, and we had a ticket in for them to come out. Maybe it was Monday. We had a ticket for them to come out, and then they sent us a message saying, "Hey, we figured out what it was. We fixed it," and so they didn't come out. But the weather, as folks don't realize that water and ice do not occupy the same. Uh-oh. So this is a good one here. I think I've showed you this one before. This is on eBay. That's shipped for 4 ounces. I've got it like $3 total in that. But I've got probably 300 of them, and I've got different listings. And so this listing is the highest price one. And then you can buy multiples of all of them, but yeah, and that one fits in one of your free Scott Condon boxes.
Somebody wanted to know which city that was. Go look it up on Amazon.
Mystery. I know how to. I don't know the city, but I know how to look it up.
Yeah. That one.
I'll go to somebody's Amazon store and look it up.
Ain't one listed now. It's the only one. Well, the only one in that condition for that price.
I could guess, but I'll guess after I hit the end button.
It wasn't wasn't the highest price one I sold previously. If that gives you an answer.
Tactical Z, you want me to show you what a how bad your there's my phone right there. There's where my phone signal stays when I'm at home. You see that? Hey, Jacob, tell them what happens when I don't have Wi-Fi calling on.
It goes, and then I don't call him back.
It hung up on you last night. You didn't even call back. What the hell?
Nope. I was like, nope.
I figured out what it was. It was it had attached to the old Wi-Fi, and because it was not picked up on the mesh out here for some reason.
Oh, you still have the old one running?
Yeah, because Jacob uses it because he likes it better. He's the only one on it.
Gotcha. So you have to hit forget network.
I should have, yeah, but I didn't. But it should have been on the mesh. I don't know why. The meshes work really nice.
Yeah. I just hit the little forget network thing
because that's what it's on right now. It stayed. I don't know if it was because no, I know what it was. I had just gotten home from the post office. That's the first one it grabbed whenever in the driveway. Yeah, my phone can hotspot, but there's no signal to hotspot. Remember, I'm right behind an airport, so it's hard to get signal through here because they're where they have to put towers. And the flight patterns and all the craziness. I'm assuming that's what it is because the signal's terrible all through this area.
Why don't you get AT&T to give you one of those little femtocell things to put in your...
We had one and I didn't hook it up. They disconnected it. I mean, I had it for a while, but whenever I kept moving stuff around, somehow it got disconnected. I didn't notice it.
Then that doesn't work anymore?
I need to get one of those. How does that other thing work? The one for RVs? Anybody have any experience with those cell phone boosters?
Yeah, there's several. Use the Yagi antenna or the or 2-directional antennas.
So did they create another network, or they just amplify the signal that's there?
Most of them, the better one, it's a Wilson brand antenna, and it has like a triangle shaped antenna on it, 2 of them, and you point it directly at the tower, and it just amplifies it. Yep. So you're not creating any sort of new network or anything. Now with the femtocell that you connect to your Wi-Fi or your internet connection, that is actually populating a miniature cell tower.
Nobody has any experience. All right. Since everybody's left, I'm going to end this early. Everybody have a good week. Hopefully, get the new book, start reading it. Starlink is very expensive. Yeah, I'm out on Starlink. WeBoost. All right, Spirit Junkie. Everybody have a great morning. Hopefully your weather is better than mine. Maybe my post office will be here today. Roll Tide.